Hello everyone and welcome to Cotton's Environmental Day program. Here with me today is Arun Ganesh sir, who is an environmentalist.
Hello, sir. How are you doing?
Hi, how are you, man? I'm
I'm
good.
fine. I'm fine. Okay, so let's begin. So, can you just tell me about what exactly do you do and how does it help in conserving the environment?
All right. So you know what? First of all, let me thank you and also your school for coming up, with such a topic. I mean, our environment. You have
Thank
so
you.
many topics to question and so many people to ask, but I congratulate you guys for taking up this topic. So to tell what I'm doing here, so basically, currently I'm running this homestay called Prakritlaya Nature Homes. It's based in a small hill town called Kotagiri in Tamil Nadu. So basically, Prakriti Laya means Prakriti is nature and Laya is to dissolve. So that's what it means. So this particular project of mine is a dream for me since when I was in the 10th grade.
Oh, okay.
So it goes a long way. So, I attended this trekking, which was conducted by one Mr. Professor Kandaswamy. He was based out of Erode. It's another small town in Tamil Nadu. So when I was in my seventh standard, I attended my first nature camp. So it was there when I became more environment conscious because, of course, before that I was too young to understand the concepts of environment conservation and things like that. So when I was in seventh grade, I walked into this jungle and listening to the professor talk about environment conservation and the importance of water conservation. So all this kind of changed the way I look onto things after that camp. So once after that camp, I whenever I used to go to my school, whenever I see people throwing plastic wrappers, even if it was my friends, I just simply used to go and pick it up and find a bin. So this kept on happening for a long time, and then people called me Eco Mama. That was my first nickname.
Oh,
They used to mock at me. Why do you want to go pick up garbage? What other people throw? I just felt it was the right thing to do. So when I was in my 10th standard, I heard, there was some of my relatives who came home. They were talking about this concept of ecotourism to my parents and my grandparents. I was too young back then to understand what exactly they were talking, but this particular word ecotourism caught my attention. So I decided that me being from Kuno, my house is in Kuno, which
okay.
is also in the Nilgiris district, and Nilgiris is one of the two biodiversity hotspots in India. So a biodiversity hotspot, I think you must know what a biodiversity hotspot is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, right.
It's a place where you find a lot of endangered species, endemic species, which you can't find anywhere else in the world. So I come from one of the biodiversity hotspots, and I felt it was my duty to protect and conserve it. And you know that Uti, Kunur, and Kotagiri, these are all places which have tourism as one of their prime concerns of economy. So I was seeing how tourism in the Nilgiris was affected, the impacts, because every time when I used to go to school, I had to cross through this patch of sholas.
Oh,
Sholas is a native ecosystem. It's a group of trees which is found only in the Western Ghats. So I used to, walk past this forest every day to school. And then one fine day, I found one guest house, a resort which was constructed in that region. And slowly after that, I saw people coming in, throwing a lot of plastics, polluting the place. And when I was a child, right from my first standard up to my 10th standard, I used to go across this forest and seeing the way it was destroyed by tourists and that particular guest house, I don't want to name it. That kind of wanted me to take up this issue. And that's when I decided that I have to do something towards the environment. So, back then I was too young. When you normally tell people don't throw this, don't throw that, don't pollute the environment, they just don't listen to you.
True.
I was doing this when I was too young, so that's when I decided that I have to study more about this. When you're empowered, when you know what you're talking about, that is when people listen to you.
True. Very
So
true.
that's when I decided I have to do something for this. And then I went on to do my BTech in horticulture. I studied more about farming, because I'm basically from a farmer's family. I studied more about organic farming. And then I went on to do my postgrad in ecotourism in Scotland. And after that I came back and I wanted to start this ecotourism project of mine, but back then it was my family wasn't in a financially sound position, so I had to work for a couple of years. I was working as a trek leader in the Himalayas with India Hikes, and then I also worked for a couple of NGOs. I worked with tribals in the hills of Kodaikanal, and then I was also working for a resort called Jungle Hut, based out of Masnagudi.
Oh,
So I kind of took up any project or any work that was associated with the environment on my way. And then finally last year, amidst this pandemic, we were able to start this project of mine, Prakritlaya, and this is where I am right now. So so I mean, you can ask me more questions,
yeah.
whatever you want, so I
Yeah.
can keep
So my
going.
next question is, what are your thoughts on celebration of the Environmental Day, and how do you think it will impact the society if we celebrate Environmental Day like almost every day?
Right. The Environment Day is, I don't see the Environment Day to be celebrated only for one particular day. I think it's the June 5th.
Yeah.
See, so you have so many days. You have the Environment Day, you have the Ocean Day, you have the Wildlife Day, and then you have the Valentine's Day, you have the Father's Day, you have your birthday and my birthday. So there are so many days. See, but the point is, see, now you celebrate Father's Day or Mother's Day, right?
Yeah.
And you celebrate that particular day, but that doesn't mean that you forget your parents for the entire year, right?
True. Yeah. Yeah.
So the Environment Day is celebrated on one particular day, the June 5th, but the rest of the years, the days we just forget the environment. I mean, at least, you have the environmentalists, you have the naturalists, you have people who
Are working to.
dedicate themselves towards the environment. They focus on this every day and they celebrate the Environment Day on one particular day. But what about the other people? The Environment Day is a day which is meant to spread awareness about the environment. So, if you ask me, this is debatable, but I wouldn't say that it is not supposed to be celebrated. But what I mean is, you have to consider the Environment Day as an everyday. The
Yeah.
environment is what is creating us. So we cannot forget environment for 364 days and just celebrate it only on one day. It doesn't make sense.
Very true. So my next question: what promoted you to focus on the environment and or to study horticulture in Coimbatore? Was there any?
Right. Like I was, just like how I just told you some time back that, when I was in seventh, I attended this trekking, which was conducted by this professor. So that is when I started realizing how important our environment is and what I should do for the environment. And when I was in 10th, I heard this term ecotourism. And you wouldn't believe, after I completed 10th, I told my dad that I don't want to study any further. I wanted to take up hotel management. I wanted to do a diploma in hotel management and I wanted to work in some cruise. That is the line which I was thinking of. But, I kind of, the camps which I attended and, the place which I am from. So my house is situated amidst the tea plantation, which is surrounded by jungle on all sides. And I've been living a life amidst nature since my childhood days. So
Yeah.
then, when I was talking to my dad, he said, no, you have to, go on with your studies and then decide what you have to do in the future. So I completed my 12th grade, and of course, I did my science. I took up biology, maths, physics, and chemistry. So, um, after my 12th, there was a dilemma whether I have to take up hotel management, because I also love cooking. I love to set up my, environment project, the resort and all that. So I thought hotel management was a nice field to be in. But then I also liked farming, because I'm from a farmer's family. So I decided, okay, let me just take up horticulture, because horticulture is where you study about plants, you study about fruits, vegetables, medicinal plants, spices, and aromatic plants. So that kind of, what it interested me. So I took up horticulture, and then that was a 4-year course.
Oh.
After I completed horticulture, there was a question of what I'm going to do next, whether it is going to be business or MBA or what. So then this ecotourism concept came into my mind. I started searching on the internet if there are any courses related to ecotourism. And then I found 2 universities, one in Australia and one in Scotland, in Edinburgh. So there were these 2 universities which were offering a very unique module. And then I took up the one in Edinburgh. I studied in Edinburgh Napier University, where I did my master's in ecotourism. So we studied more about humans and wildlife, the impacts caused to the environment through tourism, and how to reduce the impacts. So these are some subjects which I studied, and that's how it went on.
So you just now told about the homestay, right? So what exactly do you do? In the homestay, and what is the mission for it? Is there some mission behind it?
Right. So see, it's very simple. For us, at least as part of Prakritlaya, what we do here is we want to help people reconnect with nature in the best ways possible.
Oh.
That is our mission, and that's what we want to do. And we do it in various ways. We have a small organic, vegetable garden. And then we want to focus more on minimalistic living concept, and we want to reduce the use of plastics, trying to adapt the way of zero waste life. So that's what we are doing here. So it's more of an eco-educational agro-tourism kind of a concept. That's what we're doing here. So I'm actually sitting at the resort. If you just want to have a look at the place as well, I can just flip
sure. We would love to.
Just a minute. So yeah. So this is where we are.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So this is the nature home.
Oh.
Yeah. So we've got a small vegetable garden in that corner there. And we have a dining towards the end. I can't walk towards that end. There might be a glitch in the internet. So, but this is where we are based out of. So if you can see, it's all nature all around.
Yeah,
so
that's
about my website, and we have a page on Instagram. So you can see what exactly we're doing here in Kotagiri.
Okay, so my next question, if I ask you to describe environment in one word, what would it be, and why would you select that particular word only?
Well, there are lots of words, but when you ask me what environment is to me in one word, it's life. That's how I've always considered it to be, because without the environment, we are nothing.
True, very true.
We need nature for our survival, and nature doesn't need us. And the pandemic is a very good example of that.
Yeah, actually, yeah. So what is your biggest achievement towards the environment? What have you achieved as an individual to serve the environment?
Okay. See, I don't consider it as achievements unless and until it is told by people to me. I just do what is right in my mind to keep the soil. See, basically, when I talk to my workers here, be it my chef or be it my gardener or my housekeeping staff or whoever it is, I tell them not to pollute the soil. So whenever we do any digging up work and we find some minute plastics, even the small microplastics, that's what gains my attention. Not even the bigger plastics, the smaller bits and pieces is what I see. So I tell them to pick that up, because you have so many birds, you have so many insects around you. birds these days mistake these microplastics for worms and they eat them and they die. So we're all responsible for it. So I just do this on an everyday basis. Wherever I go, wherever I am, I just tell people to protect the soil, to conserve the soil. So, I don't know if I have achieved anything big or small, but I'm just doing what I can, my 0.1% to conserve the environment. But since you've asked, I like educating children about the importance of environment. And there was when last year this happened, there was a guest who had come to our place, and I was talking to them a lot about the environment, about plastics and all that. They went back home, and this particular child called me back, and she told me that I've started reusing, my plastic bottle waste, my wrappers. She started making greeting cards out of, waste materials. And there was this another person who said that I stopped driving to my office and I started cycling every day after listening to what you spoke. So these are some things which I'm not. I don't consider myself as a as a pro or something like that. I just do what I feel like is right, and if people like it, then I'm happy. I think that's something
That,
which you can call it an achievement if
yeah,
that's
true.
what you
Yeah,
think it
that's
is.
a really big achievement. Thank you, sir, for coming, and I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to attend this program. Thank you very much.
You have to go zero waste. It is minimizing your waste. So you buy your products very cautiously. Whenever you buy a product, say for example, if you like chips, now you have chips which is packed. Say for example, Lay's. Now Lay's is potato chips. Potato is from the environment. It comes from the soil, but the outer packaging, it's plastic. It was man-made. Of course, plastic, all the elements is also from the environment, but it doesn't decompose. So what you have to see from here is potato, a naturally given substance from whoever we call as God, and we created this plastic. We eat good from the nature and we throw back the bad back to the nature. So next time when you're going to the shop and when you're buying your things, look at the packaging, see if it is eco-friendly, whether it decomposes or not, whether it is important, whether it is absolutely necessary for you. If you don't feel it is important, then don't buy it. Look for alternatives. This is the best and the simplest way by which you can start a zero waste lifestyle. And this is
So
very, very important.
I'm
You
also
know,
going to,
share this news to all your friends,
yeah, I'm going to share with all
and
my friends.
let us all create a better environment.
Yeah,
For the
that's
next
the mission.
generations.
Thank you really.
Right. It was nice talking to you, man. Yeah.